This episode of Boss Rush After Dark is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn more about Boss Rush Media's family of podcasts, head on over to bossrushmedia.com or patreon.com/bossrushmedia. Thanks for your continued support.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the Boss Rush Network. It's your boy, LeRon Dawkins, back in the house. You know what it is. As always, my wonderful, beautiful co-hosts are back with me tonight. Stephanie, I love what you've done to your hair.
Thank you. I don't know what I did. It just looks different. I don't know if you like poofed it before you put the headset on or whatnot, but it looks great. Oh, thank you. It's
Pat.
Luscious.
Yes, it is actually. Pat, your hair is growing back. I thought you were gonna just keep shaving it.
I need a shaver to do that.
Well, we'll keep buzzing it.
I do need to, yeah. And I'm seeing hairs that are growing longer than other hairs, and it's kind of bugging me a little bit. It's uneven, and
don't you hate it when?
Yes,
I do.
Corey, your hat's not red.
It's not. Sorry to disappoint you again.
There's an inside joke to that, by the way.
It's all right. It's a fair trade-off. LeRon's wearing sleeves tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm wearing one of my Dude Bro gym shirts tonight. How's everyone doing?
I hurt all over.
What did you do, Pat?
What'd I do? Well, you guys would be very proud of me. I walked 2 miles before we recorded tonight.
Ooh.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yep. I that coworker I talked about, that, on and off thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she invited me to walk with her tonight.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay, I can do that. She's like, we're going to do 5 miles. I'm like, I don't think I can do that, but I will do part of it with you. And so I walked with her. It was awesome. And I think I got blisters on my feet again.
Oh, no.
Oh.
You'll get used to it, I hope.
Yeah. But here's what I was wondering. And I don't know if it's just me, but what is it that when you don't work out for a very long time and you try to start working out, you immediately need to take a shit, right in the middle of the workout?
That's not where I thought this was going.
I know. That's
not where I thought I was going either.
Because,
plot twist.
We were lucky, there was a store that we decided to check out that I'm like, I have got to run to the bathroom here quick or else I'm going to shit my pants.
Oh my gosh.
I don't say it like that? Just like that?
No, I didn't say that like that. She's like, oh, can you want to go check out the store? I'm like, yes, let's do that.
Wow, that worked out.
It did. But I don't know. This isn't the first time. Other times where I've just started working out harder than I have, or walked for longer periods of time. It's all of a sudden my bowels are okay, we're in fight or flight mode now. We got to evacuate everything.
It's funny you mentioned fight or flight, because technically it works inversely, because when you're working out or exercising, you're activating your, sorry, Paxil, I frightened you, your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight. And what works opposite of that is your digestive system, rest and digest, which is your parasympathetic. So normally when one's activated, the other one is kind of not shut down, but slowed down. So one would think that when you're in fight or flight mode, your body doesn't give a shit, pardon the pun, about shitting. So
I almost feel like it would, just to evacuate things and make you lighter.
So wait, literally no one can really scare the shit out of somebody? Don't think too hard about it.
No, I'm just saying, like, I could see it happening if, like, the shock just leads to a muscle spasm. Though I kind of think, not to get too technical, sorry, but like I could see that as like someone pissing themselves is a bit more likely than someone just shitting themselves.
Mm.
But that's not to say with my explanation that's impossible, right? Because Pat, if that's a trend, like that's not saying like, well, science says you can't do that. You know, like maybe
we are not real scientists here.
But maybe, you know, your body is kind of like, oh, we're getting moving, so everything else starts to move, and it's moving your bowels right along. Like you never, because you're not talking about like sprinting or something like really hardcore. So maybe it's just
we
enough
were just
movement.
walking continuously for like 2 miles, and I mean, it's like all of a sudden it just started hitting me like I really need to go.
Yeah, so maybe it's, you know, you're not fully in the hardcore workout fight or flight sympathetic response, but more of, you know, your body's warming up, and so probably everything is moving along. Because, you know, what do you think what people like to do, say after a big meal on Thanksgiving, at least like something that my family likes to do, let's go for a walk to digest our food, right? So maybe it's that. I don't know.
But then like I sit down and like I feel like the air bubbles in my stomach just like move around wherever I shift. I don't know. Maybe I'm just really unhealthy. And that I just like released a whole bunch of gas that needed to come because I was moving. It's weird. I don't know. I figured I'd talk to at least 2 of our fitness buffs here and ask if they ever had that issue where they just need to shed.
I really don't. Even when I'm doing like the random shit, like, you know, like drinking protein shakes, but you know, the protein shakes and pre-workout combination, like I know people that basically 20 minutes into their workout they feel they're it's running out of them and stuff like that. Like I've never had that problem. I always had the one problem I always have is I always drink a lot, so like I always have to like stop by, you know, every like 10 minutes and go pee, you know. But also oh god. Now I guess we're about to start talking habits about our bowel movements and stuff like that. I'm one of those people. I tried not to like poop in public places, like unless it's an absolute emergency, like, you know, and it's do or die at that point. Like I'm usually good at like holding it until I can get back to like my house or some place that I'm like safe at, you know. And by safe, I mean like a trusted place. Even though like I wouldn't just run to like my best friend's apartment or someplace to use his bathroom unless like it's here or it's in my pants.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. But luckily, the store, like, it's a brand new store. They literally had like no one but their own people in there. The bathroom was pretty damn clean. So I was like, well, it's do or die. At least it's a clean bathroom.
It's okay to talk about bowels. Like, I think it's a combination between A, being a mother, and B, working in healthcare. Like, hey, everybody shits. I don't get the people who have a problem with bowel movements or farts or whatever. Like, dude, everybody does it. Get over it. With that being said,
I don't have that problem.
Well, you know, some people like side tangent, but not so side tangent. My partner told me a story about his ex, like his last ex, where she does not like farts. And when I say she does not like farts, she claims she doesn't fart, which we know is all biologically impossible. She doesn't allow other people to fart in her presence. Like, she is so disgusted by farts, like she does not allow any farting. I'm like, that's a bit much. Like, maybe a stranger in an elevator is kind of rude, but like if you're with your significant other of over a year, farts are going to happen. You have kids she's a 6-year-old boy. She doesn't expect him to not fart ever. Like, she's that person who thinks farts are so gross, people don't do it. I'm like, that. Anyways, that's my side tangent.
It probably led to a traumatic experience where one of her other partners probably like put her under the sheets and farted.
Oh, maybe.
And wouldn't let her out.
Apparently there's some people that are like that. So that's kind of my commentary. But Working out, no, but I have my body's kind of figured out a regular. I've made myself regular. Wow, I sound very old. I move.
Can you teach me how to do that?
I move my bowels in the morning. That's just how it is. Right after breakfast, as long as I'm not busy doing anything outside my schedule, if it's a normal day, around 8:30, 9 o'clock, I just go almost every day. The only time where it's different is my schedule changes. Like if I'm up and out in the morning, kind of like you, LeRon, it's like my body, my brain, my body, like, oh, I don't want to go when I'm not at my house. And then I'll wait. And sometimes if I don't get home till 8, I might not go till the next day. So because my body is in such a habit of I'm a morning pooper, it doesn't impact my workouts because I've already went. So I'm sorry I can't help you there, but
Yeah, I don't have a schedule.
Yeah, I don't so much have a schedule either. Yeah, like I would definitely. Well, you know what? Since we are talking about poop and everything, like I definitely need to get myself a fiber supplement. I need to do that. You know, that'll probably help me become a little bit more regular and stuff like that. And by the way, like for anyone that's invested in this conversation, there is no magical requirement. Like I know people say like if you're not pooping once a day or at least twice a day, like there's something wrong with your system. That's a lie. That's a lie because guess what? Everybody's metabolisms are different, which means the way like people process you know their food and their fuel and all that stuff, it's going to change your regularity and stuff like that.
Now,
Also,
if you haven't pooped in like 3 to 4 days, then you might want to start questioning.
right.
it.
I was going to say, like, there just has to be some sort of input and output. And every person has their own cadence, so to speak. And usually as long as that's
cadence,
followed,
there you go.
then yeah. And you know what? That it's okay. Like we're talking about moving bowels, not to be silly and immature, but we can if we want. But like this is important. Like, LeRon, do you incorporate fiber into your diet?
Okay, like actively thinking about it, I would say no, even though like technically I know what I eat. I know where my fiber content's coming from and stuff like that, but at the same time I know I just need more fiber, you know, especially after learning that, you know, like on average, like the average adult should be getting at least 40 grams of fiber a day, you know, and stuff like that. I think the last time I tracked myself, you know, on like any of the fitness apps and stuff like that, I was getting somewhere in the low to mid teens in fiber, you know, and stuff like that. And also like I'm one of those people, like if I'm not thinking about drinking water, I can get really dehydrated really fast. And, you know, everybody knows if you're not properly hydrated, you're going to get constipated. And constipation without fiber in your system makes it worse.
Well, Corey, you're following like a diet for different reasons, obviously. But how would you say your change of your diet? Now, this doesn't necessarily mean strictly fiber or your bowels, but I know you've had a dramatic shift in your eating habits. I wonder how that's affected you, other than your goal of losing weight.
It actually has, because during the week I eat the same thing every day. And actually every day I eat the same breakfast and lunch every day. And then on Saturday and Sunday nights, I have something, you know, Saturday night's like the big, like, I'm going to eat whatever I want for dinner.
Cheat day. Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually found that really messes me up, like for Sunday, Monday, and sometimes even into Tuesday, depending on what it is. But eating the same thing, like, it's made me pretty regular too. Like I am on a pretty even cadence of things. Like I know when I'm going to have to go to the bathroom. I know, you know, aside from like going pee essentially, right? Because it depends on how much water I drink that day, but I try to drink enough water. Mm-hmm. And it's actually made me everything pretty predictable. Except for like I said, like on Sunday or Monday, like, cause
right.
I go, you know, I mean, if I eat like 5 slices of pizza, that cheese is going to be stuck for a little bit. So
isn't that amazing? So having very, very habitual eating habits, it does seem to do some sort of regulation to your GI system.
Yeah.
Not to be the preachy guy here, but your cheat days are killing your gains.
My gains?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Or your
anything.
losses. Or your losses. You know what I mean, dude. Basically saying like if you're actually, how many days do you go before you get to what quote unquote your cheat day?
Well, I eat the same thing 6.5 days a week. I only get one meal a week, and that's Saturday night.
So you only get one cheat meal, basically.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, well, on those cheat days, are you blowing out your macros?
I don't know what that means, LeRon. I'm not eating macaroni and cheese, if that's what you're asking. Your protein to fiber intake. Are you blowing that out? I just eat whatever I want.
Or are you blowing out your calories? Like you were eating pizza. You said you had pizza recently, so you blew your macros out right there. I can tell you that right now.
Well, maybe like, is there room to kind of, instead of one big gorge of a cheat day, do you think you can maybe break it down to like 2 mini cheats over 2 days? Like, or
I mean, but I'm not that worried about it, to be honest. I feel pretty good about my weekly losses and everything.
I mean, you look good. You look good. I'll say that right now.
And sorry, I meant more like the way you feel, because I know you said like it kind of might throw how you feel over the following day or two.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. It's just like I've just noticed it. It's just one of those things that I've noticed. And sometimes depending on what I eat, it doesn't mess me up at all. Usually, if there's a lot of cheese involved, like pizza or, I've kind of shifted.
Lactose intolerant, are you?
Yeah, incredibly lactose intolerant.
Oh,
well, there you go.
Dude, every time I eat ice cream, my wife, like when she buys ice cream, I usually don't eat it because I know it's going to happen. And then every once in a while, I eat it. Yeah, what Pat said or noise made. But
I have a dairy intolerance. I'm not lactose, but if I have enough dairy, I'm going to be hitting that bathroom sooner than later.
I've also noticed, like, if I eat like real bread, like sometimes on Saturdays, like late at night, because I usually stay up and play games or watch a movie or a show or whatever, and I'll like eat a bagel or something because I really want one because I don't eat that stuff all week. Mm-hmm. And almost like, I don't want to say it makes me sick, but like I don't feel good after that sometimes.
Well, yeah, it's a big ball of carbs late at night at once.
You don't think you have a gluten problem, do you?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say is like I used like, since I kind of cut bread out of my diet like all the way except for on the weekends, like whenever we're having a cheat meal or pizza or whatever, right? Like
it can happen when you might not necessarily,
no more sandwich for you.
I was going to say you might not necessarily be gluten intolerant, but gluten is, I wouldn't say it's bad for you. It's kind of like this gray area food, right? That if you cut it back drastically enough to where you are, when you then expose yourself to it in a delicious...
Your body will go into shock.
Your body will go into shock and it'll almost behave like it's gluten intolerant. But you know what I'm saying? But you're not. That's not to say stop eating bagels, but that's just like maybe an idea as to why you don't feel so great after.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of just tallied up to like, it's the same reason why, like, if I eat anything spicy on the weekend, like I don't know, something like spicy chicken or something, like I used to eat it all the time and be fine. And now that I only eat it like maybe once every couple months or something, like I feel like crap afterwards. My body's just not used to it.
The moral of the story is do not cut back. Just continue what you're doing.
That's one way.
But I don't know. True. My thing is my thing is that I feel great. Like personally, mentally, physically, I feel way better. I've lost a lot of weight already and it just, kind of I feel better.
Has the libido come back? Or has the libido taken a surge?
I mean, it never really went away. It's just, it's really hard when kids, you know, especially because we,
Sorry.
well, I mean, both forms of kids. We don't want to have another one. And then my son still sleeps in our room because we only have 2 bedrooms, and we're afraid my daughter will murder my son and while he's sleeping sometimes. Not really, but they fight all the time. Like, they beat each other up all the time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a nightmare.
It's okay. Kids are durable.
You know, it's, I don't know. I just feel better.
I know, but sometimes feeling better, even if your technical libido is good, like just feeling better, liking the way you look a little better, can always, you know,
like men start feeling themselves and they lose a little bit of weight.
Hey, I was feeling myself when I was losing some weight, huh?
It says because we can see our penis again.
Oh, that reminds me of that Family Guy episode where, like, he's in the shower. He goes, "I see you."
Or when Stewie's offering $5 to the Fat Guys Club, he's like, "I'll give you $5 if you can see your penis."
The one thing I have noticed, though, is that I get tired earlier, which is not new.
That makes no sense.
You're just old.
Are you, how has your activity been upped?
Not really.
Are you on any type of supplements?
I mean, I'm on some medication, and I mean, that might be why. That's probably why, but
yeah, it could be why. I was about to say, if you're on a supplement, so like if you're getting a spike of like potassium or magnesium, you know, like it will regulate your circadian rhythm, which is how we go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I would figure it's because you don't have your carbs, so you don't have the energy.
Yeah, but you kind of train your body to, you know, use the protein that you eat to be used as energy instead.
Maybe it's because you're not as depressed anymore.
Oh no, I'm still depressed.
But you're not like as depressed.
Mm.
Like you said, you're happier now, or you feel better.
I do feel
that's
better.
A sign that you're not as depressed. Therefore, you're not as sleepy.
Mm.
No, you are sleepy.
I'm more tired.
Oh, I thought you said you can't like fall asleep. No.
I think that's multifactorial.
Yeah, that's just something I've noticed. Like halfway through the Boss Rush podcast, I was like ready to go to bed tonight. I was like, I'm so tired. Get me out of here. But yeah, I don't know. Also, I really enjoy the way my clothes fit.
It's a good feeling.
Most of my clothes are like really big. I actually had to get rid of some, which also felt nice. But
you know, tying the two, well, the topics were related to begin with, but speaking of bowel movements and speaking of the way you feel, I don't know why. There's a meme that goes with it, but have you ever like taken a nice dump and you feel like you've lost like 5 pounds just from one dump? Yeah. And it's a good feeling. I know it sounds weird, but I'm like, man, I feel good.
I don't know. I've had dumps where I just feel like, you know, that emptiness just like hurts.
Oh, I don't know that too.
It feels weird. I don't like it.
You must replace it.
Replace me.
There are times where I'm also tired afterwards. Like I'm like, oh man, I kind of want to take a nap.
How? You exhausted yourself on the toilet.
I think it's the strain and the dip in blood pressure. I'm like, okay, sleepy time.
Okay, that's a real thing though. The dip in blood pressure, that's a real thing. I also learned you could burst capillaries in your eyeballs if you're straining too much.
Just close your eyes; it'll be fine.
Yeah, so just think of Final Destination when home dude got strung up in the shower and all the blood vessels in his eyeball.
Or when you like really try to fart and you can't, but then you blow a capillary in your eye. Like
Oh,
also
Yeah,
guy.
that's the thing. That's the thing too. Or
It's
people,
like,
or people who,
I blew a blood vessel.
or people who lift heavy, people who lift heavy at the gym, like especially on doing squats and stuff. Like if you ever see them with a red pool in their eye, it's usually because they strain too hard, like actually trying to get the weight up.
Ugh. Don't strain. Also, you'll get hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, you will.
Those suck.
Yes, they do. And anal fissures
Ugh.
or tears.
Hold on, you can't get an anal fissure from straining.
You can't. What are you talking about? You can't get it from you can't tear your anus from straining.
From straining? I've never heard of that. I've heard of I've heard of other activities that'll get you anal fissures, but I've never heard of straining getting you anal fissures.
I made medications for anal fissures. That's the first time I heard of anal fissures.
There's medications for it?
Well, compounds. Like we would take different types of topical medications and combine it.
And then you stick it up your bum?
Anyway.
Can you get anal fissures from...
Yeah. I need to know.
Most anal fissures are caused due to straining during bowel movements, constipation, or repeated diarrhea.
Oh no!
Oh, I can see repeated diarrhea because it's usually stomach acid that's coming out your back end.
All right, now I gotta ask, what's worse, diarrhea or constipation?
Diarrhea. In all honesty, I can say diarrhea because how the hell does that happen?
That's where you're like the beginning part's clogged up and you're getting those stomach cramps, but you can't get it out. But then once you finally get it out, it all just
thanks for the explanation. Thanks for the explanation, because I was like, how does that happen?
Yep.
What I was about to say, diarrhea is worse because constipation. There are ways for you to get yourself unstuck. Some of our doctors would be a little pissed off if you employ such methods to get yourself unstuck. But trust me, do you want hemorrhoids?
What if you're a straight man?
Huh?
I said, what if you're a straight man?
Hey, you gotta learn to take one for the team. Like, do you want your bowels unclogged, or do you want to really have a problem?
Yeah.
That was.
Let's put it this way: you stay constipated long enough, the doctor's going to do it for you anyway.
You got a good point, LeRon. I think, because there's things to take for diarrhea, but it's not that great. And usually you don't want to recommend antidiarrheals for someone because you're having diarrhea for a reason. Your body needs to get whatever is out, and you usually have a ton of pain. So
yeah,
I will agree.
I find diarrhea acceptable because the alternative method is something I just do not want to happen.
Anal fissures?
No.
Wait, you can have.
Up.
Oh.
I'd rather run out of my ass than run out of my mouth.
Oh yeah. I'd rather have diarrhea than vomiting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember the last
even though I do hate the diarrhea that just chafes the literal fuck out of you.
Yeah. Better that way than the other way.
Yep.
How do we want to talking about this is the poop episode. How did we get here? Pat, this was
because
your
I
topic.
exercised and I needed to take a shit because of it.
All right, follow-up question, Pat.
Yep.
Other than that, do you consider yourself like your body is on a particular schedule, or is it a whenever?
It's whenever. Sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's in the evening, sometimes it's both.
All right, so maybe your body's like, oh, we're moving. Let's push things along.
Yeah, push it out.
Well, I'm glad you were able to kind of achieve your goal without making it known to your lady friend there. It was very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you know what they say about a lady in the streets.
Well, that is
a freak in the sheets, Pat.
Yeah, freak in the sheets. I know, but it's like she's not a lady of the street, though.
You're walking.
You're a lady in the street, not of the street.
Oh, you're late. Okay.
Lady of the night.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Is this the first time she's asked to walk with you?
Yeah, it was. Like, I was absolutely shocked.
There you go.
I honestly have not talked to her like in like 3 weeks, and we were hitting some work deadlines, and so my managers are like, "Hey, can you help her out?" And so I started, doing some things, and at night I stayed about an hour later at work to print out some reports for her, and she's like, "You're not still at the office, are you?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, I'm going to go for a walk here in 10 minutes. Want to join me?" And she
Look at
wasn't
that.
at the office. I met her at her place, which is close to the office.
That is a step in the right direction, my friend.
And I got a thank you text after.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. And then someday, you never know, you'll look back on this and share that lovely story. Hey, remember that time when we went on that walk?
Yeah, what you didn't know is that I had to go poop.
Real bad.
Really bad.
Dude, my son is the longest pooper ever. He sits on the toilet for like 20 minutes. Obviously, I don't think he's pooping the whole time, but it's...
I was going to say, he's going to have hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
Just guys and just sitting on the toilet to be alone and do whatever he wants, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, how is he so young, like, already with that habit? Like... Okay, normally boys don't start having long stays in the bathroom until they're about 13 or 14, and usually it's not because they're doing anything that requires like actually the toilet.
Yeah. Yep.
You said he doesn't bring electronics in there, right? So
no.
He's just sitting there.
Yeah, I mean sometimes he'll bring like a book or something.
He needs his privacy.
No.
He needs his space.
Dude, like he'll go and he'll sit there, and if he doesn't have anything, like I can hear him humming or talking to himself. Like he's in his own little head there. So I'm like, he's 8 and he's already taking 20 minutes in the pooping, quote unquote. He also the other week had a meltdown about paying taxes. Like I'm like, dude, are you freaking like a 40-year-old man?
Your kid is fucking woke. What's going on?
He started crying. I said, "What's wrong, honey?" He goes, "I don't want to give the government my money. I don't want to be an adult." This child.
Well, what are you doing to that poor boy?
Better, they take it without you realizing it, so you don't ever see it.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
It was never yours to begin.
Yeah, he thinks about things that when I say are not appropriate for his age, I don't even mean drugs, sex, and rock and roll. I'm talking about tax and long shits. I don't know.
I don't even think about taxes.
Oh, he already hates the government. Because he's apparently super protective of his money. Not that he has a lot. And he goes, "I don't want to pay them my taxes. Are they really going to clean the streets?" Or, like, because he hears like what I say, like, oh, and he asked about it because he's trying to figure out what job he wants to have. And he's like, "Mommy, what are taxes?" I'm like, well, the long and short of it is the government takes a part of your money to repair roads and all these other things, and
mostly to pay their own salaries and give to corporations that don't really need it.
Yeah, but I don't tell him that part because he's already clearly upset by it.
Mm-hmm. It's like, kid, become rich so that the taxes can come to you.
Anyway, sorry, I just had to do tie my son in that. It was slightly poop related.
Oh, everybody poops.
Everybody poops. And there you have it.
Everybody poops.
Well, you know what, guys? I think we have a show because I have no way we can segue into something else.
No, I can't either. I'm like,
So, LeRon, was this the shittiest episode you've had?
Oh, hey.
It's up there.
Well,
You didn't
I
hit
get
any
it.
skid marks.
Oh. Well, how about this?
I don't have a follow up for that.
There is no follow up. No.
We'll call this the shitty episode.
Mm.
And
I don't
then
know
you'll
what we're
put a
gonna
poop
call it.
emoji on it.
This is going to be I am going to use the poop emoji. But
Maybe it should just be. It should just be everybody poops.
Yeah.
Everybody
Okay.
poops.
Yep. Everybody poops.
Though, can I wrap up with a completely not related? It's not a topic, but like,
Well, at least you can tie it into pooping later.
damn it. Well, it has to do with my son, and I told a story about my son that had to do with pooping. So does that count? But this, unfortunately, doesn't have to do with pooping. But I do want to brag about my kid for just 1 minute. I'm very proud of him. He had no school today, but he went to like extended day, and they took a trip to a place called Roller Kingdom, and it's like a rollerblade place in an arcade. And says parents can give their kids up to $20 if they want to play in the arcade. The father's like, no way. For me, I slipped him $20. I'm like, have a good time, kid. Come on. Like, let the kid play arcade games, dude. But the dad's like, don't spend any of your tickets and buy those junky toys. Like, I felt bad when he said that. I'm like, yeah, it is junk toys, but like, how can you give, like, how can the kid
What are
go
you gonna
play?
use the ticket for?
Exactly. I'm like, that's kind of like messed up. But he already like set the rule. So I don't want to, I think it's important as parents not to contradict each other as much as I don't agree with them. So we said, fine, your mother gave you $20, but you don't buy anything. You can buy like 2 pieces of candy and give the rest of the tickets to a friend. Can you imagine a parent saying that to you?
The fuck?
Exactly. So when I heard that, I felt bad. My son's like, okay. So he goes, I pick him up, and I wonder. He goes, Mommy, so I won all these tickets. And I'm like, well, what'd you do with them? I gave them to my friend, and I bought my 2 pieces of candy, just like Daddy said. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. My friend said that I shouldn't listen to my daddy, and I should just listen to myself and spend all those tickets. But I told him, no, you have to listen to your parents. And I was like, wow. The amount of self-control a kid to actually listen to their parents in the face of temptation, in addition to having his best friend telling him to spend the tickets anyway. So you know what I did? I rewarded him. I took him to GameStop. Well, I went to GameStop so I can get my PlayStation Portal, which I didn't get. But since we were there, I said, you know what? Pick out whatever box of Pokemon cards you want. That is your reward for listening to your parents, to show you that you should listen to your parents. So he was very happy that he was rewarded for his good behavior. So that was my quick brag about my child.
That was
Nice.
a good brag. Next time you can tell his dad, you know, if he wants to be a father, maybe you should watch his kid a little more often.
Mm.
That's a different topic, though.
Yeah.
Neat.
Poop!
I was thinking of shouting poop, but I'm glad you beat me to it.
Okay.
Someone's got to break the ice.
Corn's like a bookmark for your poop.
Someone's got to let that shit fly.
Mm-hmm. We don't want this show to stink.
Yep.
Well, that's our show for tonight.
We're just waiting on you, LeRon, or else we're going to keep pulling out these bad puns.
I want to thank I want to thank all of our fans, our viewers, our listeners out there for hanging out with us for this episode of Boss Rush After Dark. All right, so you guys know the drill. Head over to the show notes, whether you're checking us out on YouTube or whether you listen to it on the audio end, and you'll see all the information for how you can get in contact with us, stay in contact with us, and also information for our Patreon if you want to become a patron for our show. Also, don't forget, we are looking for your questions. We would like to hear some of your topics, and actually talk about them on the show and things like that. So if you have anything you want to ask us, it doesn't matter whether it's life advice, sex advice, just everyday walks of life advice, stuff like that, or you just want to know something that we want to know what we think about from time to time. Let us know.
What toilet paper brand do you use?
Would you shit on a 12 karat gold toilet?
No.
How do you feel when you sit on a bidet where the toilet seat is warm?
I can't say I've ever had that experience. A warm toilet seat or bidet.
It's
Oh my God.
like on a cold day, like it would feel great, but let me tell you, if you're not used to it, it's very unsettling to sit on a warm toilet seat. Like, oh, was someone's ass here?
Precisely.
Oh. All right, sorry, I just ruined your outro. I just had to throw that out there.
Yeah. But anyway, we want to thank you all for hanging out and listening to us. On behalf of my co-host here tonight, we love you guys. And remember, you have been checking out Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the Boss Rush Network, where we talk about things that are always content appropriate for the other shows on the network. We love you. Have a good night. Be safe. Take your fiber. Drink plenty of water. And if you're on the toilet for 5 minutes longer than you feel you should be, it's time to get up. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye, a squatty potty. Bye.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushMedia, and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support.